Hey comic fans, Scott Harris King here, and today I've just got a short video with my thoughts about the new Superman trailer. I watched it. I couldn't wait to do a reaction video. I probably should have done that, but to be honest, when I watch something, I get so focused on it that I usually don't have any reaction to anything that's happening in it, whether it's a TV show or a movie or a trailer. So there's just me looking blank faced through the whole thing, and then I have to put my thoughts together afterwards. So it would have been super boring to watch me watch the trailer for the first time. But now that I've seen it, I definitely have some thoughts. And the main one is that I'm excited. And the main reason I'm excited is because I really, really dislike the Zack Snyder version of Superman. I felt like it was a strategic mistake on the part of Warner Brothers to put someone in charge of their superhero universe who doesn't believe that heroes exist, which Zack Snyder's been on the record of saying, and you can see that in Man of Steel in the way he uses Superman, is that he fundamentally doesn't believe in Superman, uh, and doesn't believe that someone like Superman would exist. And so there's so many things I don't want to have a rant here, but I really, really disliked the grim and gritty, dark and depressed Superman stuff, where it was all just about how everything is so bad that nobody can stick to their morals and all this stuff. So I was really excited to see this trailer, to see a bright colors Superman in the daytime, a Superman that is wearing his classic costume and seems like a hero trying to inspire. Obviously, we don't get a lot of details, but just the fact that they were using the music, the classic music from the original Superman score, immediately puts you in the mind of Superman as that hero, as that guy, like as Superman, right? And that's what I want. I want a hopeful Superman. I want a Superman with a strong moral compass who sticks to that, who's the good guy, who is optimistic, hopeful, and believes in all of that stuff. That's my Superman. That's the Superman I want. And that's the Superman that I think we're going to get from James Gunn. So I like that a lot. There were specific things in the trailer that I was very excited about, and the number one of those has to be Crypto. I think that's the perfect way to signal right away, in the first minute of the first trailer, that this is not the old DC EU. This is not Zack Snyder's Superman, because there's no way that the Snyderverse would ever have something as silly as a super dog in it with a little cape, with a dog with superpowers and all that stuff, right? And so that's like a super clear signal that it's like we're leaning into the comics. We don't mind if it's goofy. It's going to be a totally different experience. And that's what I'm looking for. That's what I want. And I'm not putting this all on Zack Snyder, by the way. I felt the same way about DC Comics since I started collecting in 1984. They did Crisis in 86, but also they had Watchmen and they had The Dark Knight. And for the last 40 years, DC has decided that their brand is going to be grim and gritty and dark and cynical. And that's just turned me off to their entire universe, because it's all people that's just making things as dark as possible. And for me, I much prefer the Silver Age DC aesthetic, even though the stories aren't very good in the Silver Age. The headspace of the Silver Age and the Bronze Age, that's what I want from my DC universe. Is I want heroes who are heroes. That's what I want. I was also excited for some of the cameos. I'm curious what the story is going to be. Obviously, we see Mr. Terrific, we see Hawkgirl, we see Guy Gardner. That looks like some sort of Justice Society thing. There's bits that I missed in there, characters I didn't recognize, but I've done a little bit of looking into it and realized that unfortunately, Metamorpho apparently has some sort of key role in this story, because there's stuff to do with Stag Industries and whatever. And I'm not a big Metamorpho fan. But, there's been previous times where characters I wasn't a big fan of, I liked a lot better in the movies. So if there's someone that maybe James Gunn is a big Metamorpho fan, and he can bring out what he thinks is good about the character, and then I'll be able to appreciate it. But I've never liked that, so I'm not too excited about that. Um, Overall, though, I'm optimistic. I've been down on the DC universe from day one, and while there's individual movies that I thought were okay, I really liked Wonder Woman. It wasn't perfect. I wouldn't say it was even great, but it was really good, and it had the spirit. That's really the only one of the DCEU movies that I felt really captured it. Asterisk, I haven't seen Blue Beetle, which I hear is very good. But I'm just really optimistic after seeing this trailer, and that's despite the fact that even though I've been spent a fair amount of time dumping on Zack Snyder, I'm not actually a huge fan of James Gunn either, if for different reasons. I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy 1, but then I felt like the sequels and stuff was kind of like more of the same, and but sort of turned up a little to the point where it was annoying. Sort of the same style of jokes beat to the ground a little bit. I didn't see his Suicide Squad movie because the vibe I was getting from it just seemed sort of like, okay, I get it, whatever, you're jokey. It's kind of the way I feel a little bit about Taika Waititi, where I really liked Thor Ragnarok, but then with Love and Thunder, he took the humor part just way too far, and there's not enough editing. So that's kind of how I feel about James Gunn. I like some of his stuff, but he just goes too far, and there's not enough editing pulling it back, right? So I have some worries about that. I've read some breakdowns of what's going on in the trailer, and some of it actually on a plot level, like little bits and pieces, suggest things that are similar to some stuff from actually the DCEU that I also don't care about. So I'm hoping they don't carry around too many plot elements. Like for instance, he's going to be fighting Ultraman, which is great, but the speculation online is that it's not going to be Ultraman from a multiverse, from another Earth, but it's going to be some kind of clone of Superman that's going to be sort of a mix between Bizarro and Ultraman, and it's created by Lex Luthor. And I'm like, I hope not. I hope not. Yes, in the comics, Luthor has done stuff like that, like making the Supergirl clone, but that's too close again to me to like the DCEU version of Doomsday was basically the same plot. And so I want them to avoid everything that came before and have all fresh ideas. So like again, I wasn't blown away by it, but I'm cautiously optimistic for the movie, and kind of excited for just the idea of having a hopeful Superman, a heroic Superman at the center of the new DC extended universe. So here's hoping, fingers crossed. I'm looking forward to the movie now. I'm really looking forward, of course, to the next trailer where we start getting some actual story and plot stuff. I hope they don't give away too much, but I'd love to see more Krypto. And if we can get more stuff like Krypto in there, the more Silver Age goofiness, the better as far as I'm concerned. So let me know what you think down below of the new Superman trailer, and I'll see you next time.